This CD features sounds from the Line 6 range of guitar amplifiers. Line 6 is an American company, and as you can hear, I'm very obviously not American, so I'll briefly explain how this combination came about. The first I heard of Line 6 and their amps was at a trade show in the States, when I was approached by a group of Californians smelling of overbrewed coffee and gibbering in their strange nasal accents about all the amps you've ever wanted inside one box and tube modeling technology. My native intelligence led me straight away to deduce that by tube they meant vacuum tube, and as for modeling technology, it could only mean one thing. Yes, another company who claimed to have found the holy grail for guitarists the world over, a single amplifier that can deliver the distinct tonal characteristics of just about every amp a guitarist would ever want. Yeah, heard it all before. In an effort to get them off my back, I followed them into their cave and emerged an hour later, smelling of overbrewed coffee and gibbering about all the amps I've ever wanted in one box, man! Not to mention tube modeling technology, dude! 6 months later, after using a Flextone amp for my usual round of gigs, sessions, rehearsals, jams, etc., I've allowed my brain to believe what my ears have been telling me. All my other amps gather dust in my studio. Oh, right, I'll be honest, my garden shed. Because rather than load my car up with half a dozen different amps, I just take my Line 6 amp, and my backbone sings with pure joy as it returns to its natural shape. Other guitarists ask me how I get that 6L6 sound out of the same amp that produced that classic EL34 with bifurcated diode rectification. Don't ask me, I've no idea what they're on about either. And when the producer asks me if I can get some classic Fender or Marshall sounds, I tell him I can also supply sounds from some of the greatest amplifiers ever made, and a bunch he's only ever dreamt of. The only problem is that, whereas groups of girls used to congregate at the front of the stage to gaze at my enormous talent, I am now confronted by crowds of young men peering earnestly at my equipment. I put it down to the aging process. The tracks on this CD were recorded in my project studio using a Shure SM57 microphone and occasionally an AKG 414 mic. The tunes are intended to show a selection of the wide variety of sounds available from Line 6 amplifiers, but there's something else in there as well. It's the sound of a guitar player having a lot of fun with the largest collection of amps, and all in one box, man! First, let's take a short tour through all the tube tone amp models to be found in the AX2 and Flextone series of digital guitar amplifier systems. All the effects come from the amps themselves. First, Jazz Clean, modelled after a Roland JC120. Second, Small Tweed, our model of a Fender Tweed Deluxe. Third, Tweed Blues, modelled on a Fender Bassman. Next, black panel. This is our model of a Fender Deluxe. Modern Class A, modelled on a matchless Chieftain. And Brit Class A, our model of a Vox AC-15. Brit Blues, modelled after a Marshall JTM 45. Brit Classic, our model of a Marshall Plexi amp. And Brit High Gain, modelled on a Marshall JCM 800. Next, Rectified, our model of a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. And Modern High Gain, our model of a Soldano SLO. tube tone amp models you've heard so far are available in both the AX2 and Flextone series. The AX2 contains additional Tweed, Brit Class A and modern high-gain models. You'll also find a model of a Mark IIc boogie in the AX2 212 under the label California Crunch, as well as models of select Dumble and Buddha amps called Boutique. Now some tube tone amp models that combine tone qualities of several amp models into one unique tone and are found in both the AX2 and Flextone series. These signature hybrids are only possible through digital modelling technology, dude! Starting with AX2 and Flextone Clean. Next, AX2 and Flextone Crunch. And AX2 and Flextone Drive. The next tone, AX2 and Flextone Layer, is a mixture of clean and driven sounds used simultaneously. Finally, AX2 and Flextone Fuzztone, based on the classic Fuzzface pedal but going much further. Now a sound with stereo effects from the AX2 212. Here's another example of an AX2 tone with stereo effects. The AX2's effects can create some extraordinary sounds. Here, for example, I'm using the wah pedal to control ring modulation into stereo delays. This sound uses the octaver with a dynamic delay. Finally, common to both the Flextone and AX2 when using the optional floorboard, a wah-wah pedal. The next 4 tracks feature a selection of sounds from the Flextone and AX2 amps. All the effects come from the amps themselves.